Okay, this is your Wilson hardness scale. The first scale is a hardened steel and hard alloys. The second one is soft steel, gray malleable cast iron, and most non-ferrous metals. Let's start with HRC. The load you're putting on your specimen is 150 kilogram using the Braille indenter. This is the Braille indenter. You get that? Got it? Mm-hmm. Okay, it has a diamond at the tip, so it's used for hard steels. Okay, the HRC scale using Braille indenter, the scale is from 80 all the way down to 20. Okay, if you get a negative number or just a number without through it that's not in this scale, you need to move over to your soft steel, gray malleable cast iron, and most non-ferrous metals using the HRBW scale at 100 kilogram load, 1/16 ball indenter. This is the ball indenter. It has a 1/16 little ball at the top, at the tip. Now I'm calling it HRBW because about 5 years ago they changed that little ball from steel to a carbide. So that W represents a carbide tip, okay? So you can see the difference in the two. Can you get that? Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, HRBW, the scale is from 100 all the way down here, all the way over here, down to 0. Okay? Now, if you're measuring the hardness on a steel and you don't know what it is, you're best to go over here to the HRC scale using the Braille indenter with the diamond tip, less chance of damaging that tip. So if your scale is off the chart in this HRC scale, then you need to come over here to your HRBW and measure it there. Okay? That's how that works. Now we have different scales here, okay? We also have a Braille, that's a green chart, okay, in both charts. If you look at the load on it, 30 kilogram load, it's a lighter load than your HRC, but it crosses right over. Now, the hardness machines you can buy with the superficial scale, which is in this green scale, or you can buy the Rockwell scale, or you can buy what we bought. It's called a twin. It has all the scales, okay? So the lighter load would be for material or parts that are going out the door that you want to check the hardness on and make sure it's hard, it's what the customer wanted. It creates this real light indentation. It's hardly noticeable. So some companies may have a superficial scale, some may have a Rockwell scale, but again, it crosses right over. Okay? Now, nothing in this hardened steel chart falls in with the soft steel. This chart does not go into that. This is actually above this. You ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, these are the hardness samples you're going to be testing today. You've got an A36 steel, 316 stainless, 360 FC brass, 6061 T651 aluminum, C1018 cold finish, and a 1018 that's been annealed. Okay, these are the ones you're going to do. So on this sheet, there's 2 that are non-ferrous, so you need to watch out for that. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you how to use the machine. So I'm going to take this 6061 T651 aluminum and do a hardness test on it, okay? This is your hardness testing machine. It's the Rockwell, Wilson Rockwell Series B2000. This is what they call the twin. Remember I said that you can have a superficial machine or you can have the Rockwell. These are twins and these are about 15,000 a piece. Okay, so as you walk up to your machine, you would want to check the calibration of your equipment. Here I have a test block that we use to check the calibration. You are not doing any calibrating all you're doing is checking the hardness or the calibration of the equipment. If it's out of spec, then you need to get a technician in here to calibrate the equipment. I do that every year, okay? So there's your test block, and I've got a selection of them. I'm gonna put it back in here. Okay, now, what we're gonna do today, what we're gonna do is measure this 6061 T651 aluminum. Now, if you remember, I said if you don't know the hardness on this material, or even a ballpark, it's always best to go to your HRC scale, which is your hardest scale, and do a hardness test. And if you get a false reading out of the scale, then you need to jump to the HRBW scale. So let's go ahead and place your specimen up on the anvil. Again, this is your Braille and Dinner for the C scale, okay? So it slips in and slips out of the machine just like that. It just pops in and pops out. Okay? Now what I want to do, I want to jog my head down to get it close to the specimen. Okay? The machine moves slow. So if you're real close, you can do your measurements pretty quick and be done with it. Okay, so we're ready to go with this end. Now we need to set up the controller. So you need to go up to that. All right, right now the machine is set up in the HRC scale. Now this machine is real easy. All you gotta do is read directions, okay? To change scale, you go up here to the top and you can change your scales. So we're gonna use HRB and HRC. So here's HRB, I can change it. Now if you notice, in this upper right hand corner, it tells you which indenter to use. Now in HRB, it's 1/16 ball indenter. We're going to measure an HRC because I'm not sure what this hardness is. So we're going to go to HRC. Again, just read the directions. Select item. If you look at the top, there's that indenter. Select item. Okay. Ready for test one. Now, whenever you take a reading, when you make an indentation, you have to move at least 2 indentations away from the previous one and then get your other reading. So today what you're going to do is you're going to get 3 readings on these samples and we'll go from there. Right now we need to check this. So what I'm going to do, it says ready for test 1. You get down here. There's a start button. You push start and it will move. So it's taking a reading right now. Okay, now if you look, we're at minus 28.7. That's off that chart between 80 and 20. So now we need to go to HRBW to check the hardness. So I need to change the tip, jog it up, replace the tip, I just pull it out, put the ball indenter in place, I'm going to jog down, I'm going to move the specimen over. Okay, now I'm going to change the scale. So I got to change the scale. So I'm going to come up here and push scale. Okay, I want to go to HRB. Select item. Okay to continue. Okay, I'm ready for test 1. Now look at that upper right hand corner again. It shows you the indenter. I'm all ready to go. I'm going to jog it down just a little bit more. Okay, I'm ready to start. I'll push start. Okay, now it's getting a reading. That's a good number. That's a positive number. I'm ready for test 2. So now I need to move my specimen over. And like I said, I want you to get 3 readings. Now let's push start. Okay, it's ready for test 3. I'm going to move over and push start. $55.7. So all you need is 3 readings. So once you get your 3 values, what do you need to do? You need to get your mean and standard deviation, right? So if you come up here and push statistics, there calculates it all for you. That's all you gotta do. Okay? Okay, stop.